Here we are at Fabspeed Motorsport, and we're going to have a video explanation of Porsche 996, 997 mufflers. This will be a very informative video. It'll explain everything about Porsche 996, 997 mufflers from Porsche and the aftermarket, and it'll be very informative no matter what systems are on your car. Here directly in front of us we have the Porsche 996 factory mufflers. We have a right side and a left side muffler. In the middle is the Porsche 997 mufflers. And over here to the right we have the Fabspeed 996 mufflers. We don't have our 997 mufflers out because they're sold out. And over here on the right we have our Sport Cats with a cat core and our cat bypass pipes. And here on this 997S we have our Maxflo mufflers, our cold air kit, our headers. The car picked up about 40 horsepower, and they're the factory tips and the Fabspeed tips. Anyway, here we are looking at the 996 mufflers. Porsche stamps out these muffler cases, and they use this muffler case for all 1998 through 2004 996s and GT3s. Same muffler case for the 997. The only thing they do is they change the plumbing. The inlet outlet plumbing has to change a little bit, and they put an end on there. Anyway, on the 996 mufflers, it is a reverse 3-flow chamber muffler, and we're going to show you how that works. The exhaust goes through this pipe, comes in, goes through this tube, and then it has to come through these perforated holes. That end's completely pinched off, and the exhaust can't get through there, so the exhaust comes through the cat, goes through this pipe, and then goes through in chamber 1. So it's a reverse 3-chamber muffler. Forces its way through all these holes, fills up this chamber here, and then has to go through this hole where my finger's pointing. Goes through this pipe and goes into chamber number 2 and fills up this cavity. It comes through these holes and then forces its way through there. That's that point. That's that point on the muffler. Fills up this chamber number 2. Then, when it fills this up and the pressure gets high enough, it forces its way through these holes and goes into the center chamber, chamber number 3. The exhaust fills up this chamber, and the only escape for it is it has to go through this velocity stack. Once it goes through that stack, it goes through this pipe and comes out towards the exhaust tip. That's the same deal on a 997 here. The exhaust comes through the cat, goes through this pipe, and then runs around. Very torturous travel. And we've managed at Fabspeed to pick up horsepower and torque, significant amounts of that on all 996 and 997 cars, while being emissions legal and compliant with warranty. Here we are looking at the Fabspeed 996 mufflers, which is analogous to 997. The plumbing is just different, and this would be different, and the pipe would come here and go straight for the 997, and it would be all one piece. And then here we show you how free flow our system is. And then we have our 996 cup bypass pipes that work on GT3s and 996s. There are Fabspeed 996 tips. Back over to stock Porsche. On the 996, Porsche used log tube headers, and that's a header off a 996. It's somewhat restrictive versus what Fabspeed offers. Here's 997S headers. These headers are absolutely terrible. People say, well, doesn't Porsche give you everything you need for your money? Absolutely not, and here's why. On the 997S, the car's rated at 355 horsepower. They put these headers on with that pinch collector. I was at the Hershey parade, and I stuck my head under the new 997 Club Coupe. The car picked up 26 horsepower and about 19 foot-pounds of torque. And what Porsche did is they took these lousy headers off the car, and they actually went back to the X51 header that was on every 996. The X51 header was on earlier cars. Then later on, Porsche stuck this header on all 2000 to 2004 cars. And then Fabspeed offers this header that's CNC mandrel bent with a pyramid collector. This is a dramatic improvement, no matter if you had the Club Coupe with that header. But anyway, on your 997S or 996, these headers are Dynamite. And also, just to show you what our competitors are doing, here's a Ghl muffler. It's paper thin. And there's a B&B. That's a 993 muffler, but it's analogous. They changed the plumbing. The exhaust goes in, bangs into this wall, runs around there. The only way to get out is to go through this box and then come out this way and go out. This muffler's all cracked and split and failed, as will that one too. Fabspeed 996 mufflers, 997 mufflers, extra heavy duty, no games. The exhaust has a straight shot in, straight shot out. It's very heavy, never cracks, never breaks, never splits. We don't have to put a lot of garbage inside the muffler to keep it quiet because it's the heavy gauge, keeps the noise inside. We have Dynamite tips for the cars. These are for a 2002 to 2004 car, 4.5-inch ovals, 304 stainless. We also have them for the 98 to 2001 cars, but any 996 we have tips for. And now finally we show our cap bypass pipes for the 996, 997. We have them available already, and we're coming out with sport cats, and we use imported cores from overseas to reduce back pressure. Virtually all 996s have 4 cats in the car, one after another, 2 on each side, and then sport cats, typically you just need 1 cat and no check engine light, more power. The only caveat emptor is when you put sport cats on a 996, it makes it a lot louder. Guys that are running the Rolex 24 Daytona are buying Fabspeed cap bypass pipes, Fabspeed cup mufflers, cup bypass pipes, and our systems have been shown to make more horsepower and more torque than any other competitor in the market, bar none, and it's all dyno proven and with videos and sound bites on the Fabspeed website. And finally, I'm going to show you Fabspeed 997S, and you can see the beautiful tips we make for the car. There's the factory tip on the left, brushed stainless steel. There's the equivalent 997S tip. We're going to make these for the 997 cars too, all from Fabspeed Motorsport. And if you mention this video, that you saw this video and you buy a product, Fabspeed will give you a free t-shirt. And if you just see this video and you mention it to Fabspeed, the t-shirts are $22. We'll sell you one for $12. Let us know what we can do for you from Fabspeed. We're always working on new projects. And keep hustling every day.